In this episode, the fellows discuss President Donald Trump's State of the Union, calling it a hype-filled production full of lies and name-calling. The group argues Republicans are complicit, behaving like fearful puppets, and warns decorum has already been broken historically. They criticize Republicans' loyalists as complicit, fascistic behavior, and debate whether Democrats should maintain decorum or aggressively confront falsehoods. They object to ceremony grandstanding and argue that Trump is pushing voting restrictions by claiming election cheating and targeting mail-in voting despite many failed lawsuits. They warn that democracy is fragile, cite a claim that 72% of the world lives under authoritarian rule, and express fears about immigration detention expansion, urging organizing beyond voting to resist fascism and stretch accountability, activism, and protecting democracy ahead of them. What's going on, Mike Miller?
Hey, one battle after another, Tom Corley. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. What's going on, Keith Pickens?
Everything's good, TC. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
All right.
Especially after I took my nap for 1 hour and 48 minutes.
Ooh, that was a good power nap. Yeah.
That was how long the speech was.
Longest nap in history.
Got you. Okay.
My nap before I go to bed.
I hear you. Yeah, you did better than me.
I had to because I knew we wanted to talk about it, and I forced myself because other than that, I wouldn't have gave that speech any time whatsoever. Yeah. But I figured it would be a good subject for us to roll back on.
Sounds good. Educate me though, because I can't profess to having put any time watching it, but I already knew what was going on, and I read the cliff notes. So
right.
So
he entered the chamber, and there was conversations about whether or not he was going to blast the Supreme Court justices that were there, for the decision they made a week or so ago. But he actually was cordial to them. He shook everyone's hand, but he did say major things about the fact that he was disappointed in what they did and their decision, and they kind of called him out on it, but not ugly. I mean, just his way, the Donald Trump way.
Yeah.
Our Congressman Al Green from Texas, he had his little sign, "Black people aren't apes," and they escorted him out of the chamber.
Keep it real, Al Green.
Yeah.
Right. Then he follows that up with, follows that post up with the one where he called Michelle Obama a racist.
Donald Trump, or?
Yes.
Oh.
It's on his Truth Social thing, his post, and he's not saying anything. He's not apologizing for it. He's not didn't say anything,
Yeah.
He is what he is. He is
Does he apologize for anything, though?
No.
Yeah.
His ego will not allow him to stoop, in his mind, to any type of apology, because why would he? Because he's always right.
Right. Oppressors never repent. The recipients of oppression always forgive, but the oppressor never repents. And we continue to forgive these people that they're not going to repent. They just don't keep doing it.
The one thing that caught my attention is kind of baffling. I don't know if it's baffling, but it caught my attention. And I was kind of like, I can't believe all these Republicans still follow him in step.
Mm-hmm.
They were there. They were all trying to get a handshake and all trying to do selfies.
Mm-hmm.
Just kissing his behind. And I was like blown away by that.
Yeah, they're complicit.
That's what fascism looks like.
Yeah, they're complicit.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
They're lined up to kiss his ring, and they're fearful. I heard something today that suggested that it really just makes it easy for them to get a. I'm simplifying it now, to get a paycheck, because basically they're just showing up. They've ceded their authority. They've ceded their power. They're really not representing their constituents. They're just whatever he wants, he gets. And I found it funny that somebody referred to I forgot the cartoon characters, but Mike Johnson and J.D. Vance, the way they were just like puppets, just jumping up and smiling and grinning, and it's just disgraceful that, we've said it 1,000 times about the emperor in those clothes, and that these people continue to be in denial or to perpetuate these blatant lies and this whole disrespect of the presidency, man. Where before there was a certain protocol, there was a semblance of class in terms of when you got that position, the highest position in the land, and in a lot of cases the highest position in the world, you had certain expectations for a leader in terms of having some semblance of decorum and class. And this guy, man, he just throws it all out the window. And to your point, Tom, they just, they grin and bear it, and they pose for pictures. They want to get a selfie. They want to shake his hand.
Yeah.
They kowtow. It's just incredible. And it's like, when are we going to wake up? This has got to be a bad dream.
Yeah. Being in the school, I have a kind of a sense of when I see a pep rally.
Mm-hmm.
The school has a pep rally, a couple of times a year, and that was a pep rally last night. That was no meat and substance to what he says, whether or not our State of the Union is strong. That was nothing but hype. Nothing but hype.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It was a production. It was a Donald Trump production.
Yeah. Yep, Donald Trump production. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Giving out awards to people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
The hockey player gets a Medal of
That
Honor.
was disgraceful.
Mhm.
That was
That is.
disgraceful.
Yeah, for anybody who's received that already,
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't say much about the award right now.
Right.
Well, the
My brother
narcissist
almost
says he should get
passed
a Medal of Honor, and the ones that they hand out to the military, and everybody knows he avoided the military like the plague. He had no intention coming up of I think he had a foot surgery or corns or whatever needed to do to avoid the draft more than a couple of times, and yet he wants to be honored and lauded like he's participated or he's done something great. And this guy's just, you talk about a narcissist, man. This guy is just incredulous, and the fact that we continue to put up with it, not to mention, there are some signs there of mental, not clarity. What's the opposite of clarity? A mental fog, man. This guy just, he can't hardly put together a sentence. He's just, we're accepting and embracing this guy, and he's not a leader. He's far from a leader.
Well, you can tell when he went off his speech, he babbled a little bit and tried to call out the Democrats for, not standing. Oh, he actually called them crazy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
he
heard
called
that.
it. Yeah, he called the Democrats crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what in the world is going on here? When I heard that,
Name calling from a fascist is part of the playbook.
yeah,
Yep.
That's part of the psychology. And you don't stop. Once you start, you don't stop. That's why he's not going to stop with these racist posts. Once you start that, it's part of the playbook. It's a mental thing where you have to beat down your enemy. And you do it religiously and you do it viciously. And you do not stop. No matter what anybody says, you don't stop until your enemy is vanquished.
Mm-hmm.
That is part of the science of war.
wow,
It's incredible,
Exactly.
Mike. I've said it from the onset. There's a psychology to it. And I almost think that he's so deep into it that it's no longer him just using it from a psychological standpoint. He's embraced it, and he literally believes everything he says now. He's all in. If it was, before just a matter of going by a playbook, which is apparent that the MAGA party is, in his case, man, I think that he's drank the Kool-Aid, a whole gallon of it. And he's 100% in. I believe this man believes everything he says. And that's the scary part, because who can be the best at everything? We haven't seen it yet.
Right.
You've had geniuses, you've had athletes, you've had, you name it, in different disciplines, and there's a best or a GOAT in every discipline, in every sport. But to say that you're the GOAT, period,
Right.
that ever,
Right.
the greatest
Right,
person that ever
right.
lived.
This is
It's,
the richest we've ever been. The greatest ever. Everything just the greatest has ever been.
all right.
Yeah.
It's just how.
I was kind of somewhat disappointed because what my understanding was that Hakeem Jeffries gave, I don't say instructions, but he requested that nobody have these outbursts, and they did anyway. I guess you can't hold back from doing something like that, but I just think it takes away from the level of what's the word I'm looking for? The quorum that they have there in the chambers. and civility.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
towards each other. I mean,
Yeah.
we already know the thing is divided. The room is divided, but there's no reason for people to have these outbursts like that.
Well,
I think he makes it tough though,
Yeah.
Tom. I think he makes it when you are so blatant, and then it was purposely geared towards the Congresswoman because they split the screen. They wanted to see her reaction, right? And so when he started talking about things, that was pertinent to Minnesota, when he started talking about immigration and as it relates to what they were doing there, and I didn't see it, and so I'm going by what I've read, what I've heard. It inspired her to, basically say you're a liar because you've literally murdered two people here in the state of Minnesota, and you're talking about making it safe, but yet he didn't acknowledge Renee Good. What's the gentleman's name?
Eric Purdy. Yeah.
Pretty.
No, Freddie.
Freddie.
Freddie. Yeah,
Freddie.
he did not acknowledge them at all because he did not want to call attention to or draw attention to the fact that it has not gone to his expectation, and everybody knows. I mean, it's been on the news for months, but he just glosses over things and he baits you. And you're right, Tom. Hakeem Jeffries did suggest that they should be, quiet or just non-participatory and so forth. And, that's not how she flow. She's staunch, man. She's, in my opinion, she's a good representative.
Yeah.
She's doing what she's been voted in to do.
Right.
And that's to represent her people.
Right. Well, I'm going to chime in on that.
Go with that, Mike.
The other side was the first side to break decorum at the State of the Union when they hollered out, "You lie," to President Obama.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So therefore, I do not, under any circumstances, fault those that hollered out yesterday. They were right. Now is not the time to be silent. Now is not the time to be silent. And since the other side started this mess, it's going to be tit for tat. What makes them think that they can do it and nobody else will? No, that's not how it works. Here's the psychology of that. They started it. We need to be more vicious.
In the chamber, but in the chambers, Mike?
That's where it has to happen. Look, decorum is gone. Look, we're talking about life and death here, Tom.
I get that.
Then you cannot under any circumstances capitulate to these people in any way. Those that hollered out in those chambers, I support you 1,000%. And I wish more of them had hollered. I wish they had broken the whole damn thing up.
Well, Rashida did. She spoke out too.
Yeah,
Rashida Tlaib.
Right,
yeah.
yes.
Local from Michigan. She spoke out.
I wouldn't care if they had broken the whole damn thing up.
Yeah.
Here's what. You have to be more vicious than your enemy. They started that. When they called President Obama, "You lie." Okay, that's all right. You started it. So don't tell us to be silent. They always want us to be silent and back down after they've already done. That's not how it works. I don't think in that manner. I think in defeating your ass and crushing you, pick the shit under my foot. You will not, I will not under any circumstances capitulate to fascism. If the fascists want to holler out in the chamber, during a State of the Union address, then we should too. In fact, we should break it up. We have to be more vicious than our enemy. And believe me, they are our enemy.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, Tom, in a sense, that's how we got to this place because the Republicans stopped playing politics a long time ago. And to Mike's point, they would do things, whether it's yelling out in chamber or just politically, they would do things and then look at us as if to say, how dare you if you do the same thing?
Right.
And yet we've gotten to this place where they've stirred the pot so much and we've played prim and proper, and now we're behind the 8 ball. And to Mike's point, to always capitulate, to always give in, it's almost a sign of weakness. I mean, you can only play that card for so long. I'm all about, on an individual, personal level, talking about being peaceful and turning the other cheek and so forth. I get it. I know how that works. But I tell you what, you turn the cheek too many times, you're going to be on the floor. You're going to be knocked out. And I'm not going to use some of Mike's language, but knock the F out.
It's called death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah,
death by 1,000 cuts.
So politics is a little different, and the reason the Republicans are in the position they're in is because they've played that game for so long. It's just like a little kid who hit you and put her hand back. Hit you and pull your hand back because they figure, you know what? One, you don't know I hit you. You just I'm here. But as long as you don't know I hit you, you're not gonna hit me. But guess what? I'm striking back because you're not going to keep hitting me.
Right.
So, yeah, the decorum, unfortunately, is no longer, it's almost a thing of the past. Now, they should still hold it to a point where you're not getting in the fisticuffs. But, I mean, even when Al Green had his sign, the Republicans trying to snatch the sign out of his hand. Like, really?
They're weak. They're weak. That's what a coward does.
Like, you want to snatch, I mean, think about it, Tom, like this. Let's take it to the street. You in a bar, and your self-expression is whatever you do. You wearing a hat that just out of this world, but somebody snatch it off your head. You just let it go?
No, not at all.
So he's making a significant point around, blacks aren't apes, and you guys can chant USA or you can do whatever you want around trying to dispute it or to make it seem trivial, but I'm making a point because it's important that here's a president that's going to stand here and talk for 2 hours and spew out all of these lies, obvious lies. I mean, he'll tell you something. We already talked about how many times up is down and down is up. And they're going to follow suit by standing up and applauding and whatever, just to get on his good side or to remain on his good side. But we've got to, what do they say, speak truth to power? Is that the expression? I mean, we've got to be, honest about what's going on. And just because the Republicans are supportive of everything he does and says, that doesn't mean we have to be. Now, if people didn't want to show up, which there were several Democrats who didn't show up.
Right.
If people who didn't want to, yell out, that was good. There were people who stood up or clapped sometimes. That was their individual expression. But they weren't all in. In the past, you see people, even if it was reluctant, they'd get up and they would applaud, even if they or shake their head or whatever. But the game has changed. And so if you're gonna lie to my face, and the American people, we don't know what the size of the audience, but we know it was millions. And maybe they're not getting their news feed from a regular, from the left.
Vetted source.
Maybe they just, So you need to hear the truth. So you're going to say one thing, I'm going to call you on it. And that's what they did. I don't think that when they called out, it was necessarily malicious. I just think they were just holding them to account.
Right. Yeah. So, based on what Mike's been saying about the fall upcoming elections, he made a statement about how voting has been cheating. And of course, there's no record of that, no proof of that. So it's part of the fact checking.
It's been disproved, Tom.
Yeah, right. So now he's commanding or saying that we need to have proof of what is that?
Citizenship.
Citizenship.
Basically.
Birth certificates or something like that. Some stricter ID requirements.
Right.
But by doing that,
canceling out mail-in votes.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to step on your
I
median,
forgot about that part. Yeah. That's
the stickler. That's the stickler. That's you not donkey. Look, dude. There've been over 600 lawsuits, which they lost every single one of them. Mm-hmm. That shows that our elections are the most secure that they ever have been, ever. Mm-hmm. There's no funny business going on. You know, you got one or two people here and there who voted twice or something. One person wasn't you talking about, right?
Less
nothing,
than 1% though.
right?
I mean, less than 1%.
Less than 1% of 1%.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's nothing that is swaying the elections.
Right.
What he wants to do is put your behind in a line to stand out there for hours
Mm-hmm.
and basically have his people in place to harass you,
Mm-hmm.
challenge you, at the voting booth.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, you already have to have ID to vote. And last I checked, I had to show my ID. I can't tell you how many times I've had to show my ID to vote.
Absolutely.
So we already have secure elections. We already have voter ID.
And it's predicated on the state, whatever
Right.
state
And
you live in.
Since the law says that even to enter a post office, you're supposed to have a real ID, because that's the letter of the law. Even to enter a post office, just to enter a post office, you're supposed to have a real ID.
Mm.
How do you get a real ID? You have to show your birth certificate. Right. So you've already done everything necessary to show that you're a U.S. citizen. You've already done that. So what is this? What
Well, like you said, to make it more difficult.
right?
Yeah, I mean, let's keep it real. That's what it's
Yeah.
that's what it's about, to
Right.
make it more difficult. And,
Right, to even
the
enter
midterms
a
are coming
government
up,
building.
and the writing's on the wall. His approval rating is as low as it's ever been, lower than after January 6th. So the different things that he's been trying, they're not panning out. And so the last thing on his list is to have an executive order to change the voting guidelines and to make it more difficult to vote. And the thing is, in this country, we should be about making it easier to vote. We should be more inclusive. We should want everybody to participate, because at the end of the day, isn't that the point?
Exactly. And it's pretty easy right now to vote.
Oh my God, it's
Everybody
never been
there.
easier.
Right.
It's never been
Everybody
easier.
who wants to vote can.
Yeah, I can't
So-
remember the last time I went. I used
Right.
to get up early in the morning and go to the polls, and I'd be one of the first ones there, because me being impatient, I didn't want to deal with those long lines. I'd go before work. I'd be one of
Right.
the first people in line. And then when I was able to vote absentee, I mean, that's a beautiful thing.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
You could take your time, and
Yeah.
whether it be a
read
local
the
election or
issue.
national election, you take your time and do your homework, and you don't have
Right.
to feel rushed or compelled to just make a decision on the fly. You can be smart about your vote.
Right.
And
Right.
yeah, absentee voting is the way to
best. It's the best. It's the best. Secure.
Mhm.
It's secure. It's secure.
Yeah.
And it's
It
secure.
is secure. It is
100%.
secure. I sound like my dear. You is the dad. It's secure. It's secure. It's secure.
I was rather disappointed in the grandstanding with the USA hockey team.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, that was after the Cash Patel incident.
Right. I guess maybe that's their way of trying to clean it up, maybe. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. They got it.
But-
Oh boy.
But
Oh,
Tom, how do
boy.
you clean up a mess when he made that call to the U.S. hockey team? He disparaged the women's hockey team, who also
Yeah.
won gold.
Yeah,
And who
he
decided
did.
that they would not accept his invitation. And so, I mean, he even effed that up.
Yeah.
Because, and then, it was also suggested, was the U.S. hockey team the only ones who got a gold medal? I think not.
Right.
And so you only reach out to the U.S. hockey team?
Oh, and gave the goalie that
Right. That's what I said. Like some medal of honor
That
or something
medal.
like that.
for putting a stick up his ass. The puck behind him. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Not people who are really doing the work. What was it? A Medal of Freedom, I think it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But not to Jesse Jackson, somebody who's doing the work,
Oh my
who
God.
have done the work. Not
Oh
to
my
anybody.
Well, Jesse's already got
Currently.
one. I think Obama
Yeah, he
gave
does.
it.
I'm pretty sure he does.
But I know.
You're
I mean, your
correct.
point. Your point is, like I said, for that guy to get it based on what he did, it diminishes the value of that
Yes.
that
yes.
award.
It does.
100%.
It really
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
It
And
really
if he
does.
ends up somehow finding a way to give himself one, I don't think anybody will ever want one again.
Well, yeah.
Talk
Well, at
about
least not from
devaluing.
Yeah.
You know,
And that's why he doesn't. That's why he'll never get a Nobel Peace Prize.
Oh my God! Well, he got one, Tom. Didn't you hear?
yeah. You didn't hear he got one.
He got
I
one.
mean, along with the $1 million check, he got one, but it's not as official.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, his speech was one big beautiful lie.
Yeah.
And I don't want it. It really wasn't beautiful, but I'm just kind of feeding off of his bill.
That's a good one, Keith.
One big beautiful lie.
Yeah.
Sure was. It was one lie after another. Yes, it was.
I got a bingo card. I'm gonna say this right now. I think I got it from you, Tom, if I'm not mistaken. And I think it had 25 squares.
Yeah, I sent it out yesterday. Yeah.
Somebody had it on the FB, and 17 of the squares were covered. 25 squares, all eyes.
Right.
17 of those squares were covered. So he made good use of that hour and 8 minutes, or I mean, what was it?
48.
Hour
48. Hour 48.
Yeah.
So he never got around to talking about the economy. Well, he did talk about the economy in the sense that he made it better, but it's not really better. It's just, back to where it should have been. With
all
the fact
eyes.
that
he said it was improved at 1.7%. It's not.
Yeah.
It's 2.6%. It's higher than what he said. His numbers, he just come off the top of his head.
Yeah, he'll say anything. Inflation is still much higher than the target by the Fed to really do something about interest rates. And in fact, inflation did tick up a little bit the last quarter by 0.25% or 0.5%, whatever it was. But the point is, the economy is not, it's two economies. It's the economy of people that make $250,000 and more, and everybody else.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's what it is.
Truth.
So if you're making $250 or more, you're doing good.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you're not making at least $250, ain't nothing you can do. They gonna tear your butt up.
Mm-hmm.
You supporting everything. Everything.
That's the truth, Mike.
The affordability question, or
They made that up. They made that up.
It's all a hoax.
it's all up.
It's all.
It's all a hoax.
So, I guess the thing is that do we come away with the economy or the State of the Union better than it was a year ago?
Absolutely not.
No way.
No,
No
the
way.
union is fragile.
Oh my God.
250 years into our democracy, the union is fragile.
That's very good, Mike. That's a good
Right.
point. Yeah.
That all this other how the economy the union is fragile.
That's the
So
point.
that's the state of our union.
Yeah.
250 years in, and do we want to give up on democracy after 250 years? I don't think so. 72% of the world is under authoritarian rule right now.
72%?
72% of the world live under authoritarian rule.
Land
right now.
based. You're looking at, or are you talking about human count, or you talking about land based, like China, Russia,
wherever.
North Korea?
Correct.
Yeah.
The biggest concentration of humans
Okay.
are under authoritarian rule.
Okay.
72%.
Wow.
Of one, right. The U.S. is the last bastion of democracy, as we knew it.
In terms of a balance,
Right.
per
Correct.
se. I mean, yeah.
Right. Correct. If we go down, that's it. You'll just have a world full of authoritarians, and all they're gonna do is what? War with each other. That's what they do. Read history. Don't take my word for it. Read history. When all these people turn to authoritarian rule, then at some point, these people start fighting each other. Mussolini and Hitler fought each other. I can't remember who was in charge of Russia at the time, but Russia and
Stalin? Was that Stalin?
that was Stalin, right?
Yeah.
Was this-
Yeah, they fell out. Hitler and Stalin fell out. And then Russia was on our side in World War II at the beginning,
Mhm.
when we entered in 42. Right. So, it is what it is.
That's eye opening, Mike. That information you
Yeah.
just gave us, you dropped a bomb on me because I had no clue.
Yes,
Yeah, I didn't realize it was
70% of
I'm
thinking all these democracies are around the world, democratic
they're
countries.
small,
Wow.
very small.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the world is under some form of authoritarian rule.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we are so sought after as a place to live, as a place where you can express your religious belief and work hard and make money and feed your family, and you don't bother anybody and nobody bothers you, and you go to school and you just live in peace.
When you say authoritarian, just for clarification, you're talking in countries that have kings and queens.
Even not just a king or queen. And we know Russia and China are authoritarian.
Yeah.
But look at Iran is authoritarian. Iraq is authoritarian.
Right.
Syria is authoritarian.
North
Korea.
Well, are we talking places that don't have elections? Because Russia has elections.
Yeah. They have something called an election.
Right. Something's called an election.
Right.
Right.
a semblance of a
where the same,
election.
the same person always wins.
Right.
Is that an election? Who's voting? Who's counting those votes?
Well,
Right.
in Africa, they have some countries that have votes, but they still, like you said, but they still have authoritarian
Oh my God.
leadership.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
Correct.
Sure, for
Correct.
sure.
All right.
Yeah.
It's just trying to understand it, because, but the 72% is through
It blew my mind when
Yeah,
I
that's huge.
first saw
Yeah.
that. I was like,
I had no
this is
clue.
for real.
I had no clue. Yeah.
It's true, of some sort of authoritarian rule. So, we are the last bastion of democracy. And if we go down, that's it. So I don't know what to tell people. If that's what you guys want, that's what.
I mean, if the polls are representative of how people truly feel, even though I can't imagine what the sample sizes are, but they always typically be close, if not on point. Then there are people, whether they be independents, because I understand a lot of independents are kind of like crossing back over or finding some place to land or looking for some place to land. It's just, that's just incredible to me. I don't know, man. I can't seem to wrap my head around the fact that we're in a place where we are right now.
Right.
I
Correct.
just, but
Correct.
I think that, the writing seems to be on the wall again, as I was saying, if you go by the polls, all of the special elections, or most of the special elections, have gone to Democrats.
Yes, across the board.
Across the board, it appears that, when the midterms come, because these Republicans are still sitting on their hands, that there could and should be some accountability. And I think that is so critical, that once we get to the midterms, and if Democrats don't gain some leeway or control, then at that point, I may even start to worry. Because at that point, the American people are speaking. That is, unless Trump is able to successfully take over the voting by sending in the FBI and the CIA and everything else he's been trying to do to get control of the vote count or the vote. But if things bear out and the polls are, as has been suggested in terms of Trump's popularity, these Republicans are going to be on out, or at least quite a few of them should be on the outside looking in.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
we have to. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. They've completely lost the middle, which is the independents.
Yeah, right.
The independents have jumped that ship, and they're back on the side of the Democrats. Much as they probably don't want to be, but the thing is that they're not going with Trump in the next, or anybody who is in that category of being a MAGA. They're jumping that ship. They're not going that in the direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Based on the polls.
Based on the polls.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be telling if
Right.
people don't show up. And vote,
How
that
they
would be
always talk
telling.
about a tsunami, or a blue wave or whatever they call it.
Right.
That's what's going to take place in November. Yeah.
I certainly hope that it's allowed to take place.
Well, yeah.
I keep saying that. I'm not going to change from that.
Yeah.
Whatever funny business is going to happen, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Any type of funny business that you can imagine, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I hope that the different states are trying to get out in front of it, because if you and I know, and the pundits are suggesting that there's going to be some mess in the game, hopefully the different state authorities can come together and try to get in front of it, because if they respond after the fact, it's too late, right?
Well, the first primaries kick off on Tuesday of next week.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're going down that road. So we'll see you soon.
I mean, the Supreme Court kind of stepped up to the plate recently.
Yeah,
they did.
Yeah,
on tariffs, and so maybe at some point they'll continue to embrace the fact that this is not a nation that embraced kings. That the Constitution is still the rule of the land, and that, if they interpret it, as it should be interpreted, then they'll conclude that, there are certain things that this guy can't do. Because he continues to say, basically what he said in the last couple of days is, I don't need Congress. I don't need the Supreme Court. I can do whatever it is I want to do.
Yeah.
And that sounds like one or two things: a king or a dictator.
Right.
Sounds like both of them, actually.
Yeah.
And,
I'm going to say two things here. Number one, to Keith's point, correct. The U.S. legislative body collapsed in the first 100 days of this presidency.
Right.
The U.S. legislative body just collapsed. They capitulated all their power right to the president in the first 100 days. It looked like the Supreme Court was going that way also. And now they kind of like, whoa, wait a minute, you can't tell us what to do, and, gave them a little slap on the wrist on this tariff thing. But the bottom line, and really, ultimately it's the bottom line, is that this fascist infestation has permeated our government all the way down to past your local state and county and municipal bodies. This fascist infestation goes all the way down to your local HOA, your homeowners association.
100%. He's right.
And there's only one way to eradicate fascism. It must be eradicated, and there's only one way to do that. And voting is not it. So we're going to go through the process. We have to let the process play out. Right. But if you ask anybody Jewish, and if you go to the Holocaust museums, and if you look, and you say, well, why didn't you guys fight sooner? Why did you let it get this bad? And their response is always the same. The reason that Jewish people didn't fight fascism earlier is because they knew that if they killed one fascist, the fascists would kill 1,000 of them. So they did nothing. And by doing nothing, 6 million were killed. So would you rather fight? And because it is what it is. Would you rather fight and lose a few thousand? Or would you rather do nothing and just get wiped out? The United States government, they don't buy buildings for temporary purposes. When the government buys a building, they buy it to hold it at least 20 years. Is it going to take 20 years to get detainees, to get illegal aliens out of the country? No, it's not that many left now. So if you're buying a buildings all over the country, who do you plan on putting in these buildings?
And they're saying they're supposed to have employ like 17,000 people or something, some crazy
To do
number.
what?
I know, right? I hear you, Mike. I hear you.
They bought a building in Romulus.
Yeah.
Right. To do what? Who do you plan on housing in these private prisons, basically?
Right. Well,
Come on now. We're not stupid. You're not going to insult my intelligence anymore. Saying that this is immigration enforcement. You're not enforcing any immigration anymore. That's the worst of the worst are gone. They've been gone for a long time. 75% of the people being arrested have zero criminal record.
Correct.
That's what these statistics show.
Yeah.
75% of these people he's calling violent criminals have no criminal record at all.
right.
So what are we doing here? These are people that have jobs and that are paying taxes. Paying taxes for your roads. Paying taxes for Social Security. That they'll never collect. Kind of a form of slavery, don't you think? You know, you're forced to pay something that you will never collect a dime from. But we're going to collect. Yeah, we all collect Social Security. No, they won't, and they're subsidizing us. They're subsidizing everyone in this country.
Yeah.
Well, we're subsidizing them. We're subsidizing their wealth.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah.
So
The Robin Hood
make no mistake about what's going on
from
here.
the poor and give to the rich.
Right. Correct. Make no mistake about what's going on here. We can, and I know the news media presents things in a certain way. And now I'm talking not to the panelists here, but to everybody listening. They present things to you in a certain way, and you just want to believe it because at the end of the day, you just don't want problems. You want to go to work, come home, relax, and not have to worry about everything we're talking about right now. Not have to worry about being shot. Not have to worry about the price of milk and eggs. You just want to live free. You just want to express your religious belief. You just want to go to work and make money for your family and just live. And some people just can't stand it. If they see you succeeding, you working hard and living, that to them, that means that's something that they can't do, that an opportunity that they didn't have. Yes, you have the opportunity. The whole system is made.
Start.
Right. You had a big head start. The whole system is geared for you. So these people had to work 3 times as hard to have 3 times less than what you have, and you deal mad at that. That is unbelievable to me. Our country is ours now. This going back to the founding fathers and all this bullshit, that's gone. That's done. We are here now. We are the ones that live here now. We will interpret the Constitution the way we want it to be interpreted, not the way some fascist wants to say that, no, this was meant for slaves and this was meant for this and this was meant for that. Dude, I don't give a rat's patootie what you think. I would never capitulate to your ass. You don't tell us how we're going to interpret the Constitution right now. Your interpretation is not everyone else's interpretation. And since we're here now, we're the ones in charge. The only people that have power, and this is again to everybody listening, the only people that have power over you are the people that you give it to.
Here.
Stop giving him power. Stop saying his name. Notice I said his name. I try not to say his name at all. Because every time you say his name, you give it legs. You give him power. Take that away. Don't even say his name. Refer to him as something else. Dehumanize him. Second rule of warfare, dehumanize your enemy. Dehumanize your enemy. It's much better it's much easier to deal with them that way. Because believe me, they're dehumanizing you, aren't they?
100%.
So do not capitulate to fascism. dehumanize them. They don't belong in the United States. I'm done.
Well, with that said, I guess we'll wrap it up. I can't think of anything else I want to say after that. I mean, I can think of some things, but I'll save it to another episode.
That'll be, hey, Mike, that's the cherry on top, my friend. Well put. Definitely.
Thank you. I get a little heated.
Yeah.
But when it comes to fascism, I'm not going to capitulate. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
No.
You have to be as passionate against fascism as they are for it.
Exactly. Thank you, Keith. That was excellent. Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
So your point is well taken and certainly eye-opening on a lot of levels. And we just have to stay woke because they don't want us to. They think they think woke is a bad thing.
Yeah.
And guess what? We have to stay woke.
Yeah. Oh, that thing in my back of my mind is that I'm worried about people waiting on it to come to their doorstep.
That's the problem.
It is.
Because nobody wants to go and put it on the line. I get that. I really do. But if we wait for it to come to your doorstep, it's too late. Your neighbors,
too late.
Yeah,
it's too late.
It's too late.
Yeah.
You both
Right.
make a good point, but I think that when we personalize it, I mean, when I say we really personalize it, it's up to us, all of us, to participate.
Right.
Because we can talk about it on a podcast, and we talk about it with our friends, family, and neighbors. But when there's a call to come together or a call to order, per se, whatever your passion is, whether it's participating in the No Kings rally or whatever that may be, obviously we all need and have to vote. But we can't just sit around, wringing our hands, looking at everybody else to do what we're required to do, and that's participate. And so we can either relent, give into it, or we can do what we're doing here and go above and beyond by making sure that whatever we can do personally, sometimes it might even require us financially supporting the cause that we strongly believe in, that's anti-fascist. But just like you said, Tom, waiting for it to come to our door is not the answer. Now, I'm prepared if it comes to my door.
Right.
But I don't want to wait till I get to that point.
Right. Don't want to get to that point.
Because it's more than it's not just about me, right? It's about all of us who believe in democracy and the Constitution and the way of life that we've had prior till now. And so I agree with you 100%. Waiting for it to come to our door is not the answer.
Now, if this rolls out and if November the House and the Senate flips, I have in back of my mind that we're going to waste our time trying to impeach everybody and not get anything accomplished for the people.
I think there's more work to be done beyond that. I think that there's going to have to be people who are held to account because obviously, to a certain extent, the Supreme Court is giving the president a pass. And even so, I think that we still need to dig in deep and look at some of the things that he's done because not all of it has been in the name of or under the guise of the executive branch or the president of the United States, particularly as it relates to the wealth that he and his family is accumulating through the office. But beyond that, all of those who have embraced everything that he's doing, those congressmen and senators who are sitting there and applaud and look the other way, we've got to find a way to hold people to account. But at the same time, we've got some fixing to do because in less than 2 years, this man has chipped away at democracy to the extent that it's really not something to shy away from. I mean, it's a reality. Because if we'd have talked about this 5 years ago without Project 2025, I don't think any of the three of us would have even thought that this was possible. But here we are, we're on the fringe. And as Mike stated, if we do nothing, and if the votes, if the people don't turn out for the midterms, we could be headed towards, authoritarianism. And I don't think that's a place any of us want to be. I know the lifestyle that we've had, that we've managed for the years that we have in terms of, or under the guise of freedom, has been, it hasn't been 100% in terms of how us as a people have had to respond to it. But yet we're much better off now than we were even 30, 40, 50 years ago, right?
Right.
And we certainly don't want to see that rolled back. But this president has done all he can when he says to make America great again, to roll it back as far as he can. And that means excluding you and me and anybody who's black or brown.
All right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we're on the light side of what we're familiar with, because slavery was 400 years?
Yeah.
And here we are just 50 years not far from Jim Crow.
Jim Crow wasn't a joke. I mean, you turn on the TV, man, you look back to the 60s and you see dogs jumping at our people and fire hoses and just the blatant disrespect, because somebody said it just recently on a newscast that, the police, the officers of the peace, so to speak, they just have a little bit too much authority, because if I'm not acting aggressively towards you, if I'm not trying to beat you down and put my hands on you, why is the first thing you do is you pull out a billy club or spray and you want to inflict harm on me or on my child or my brother or my sister?
Mm-hmm.
I can see, I don't necessarily say defund the police, but I can see where some of the rules need to be changed, because I know when it's said and done, back to your original point, Tom, some of the, as far as impeachment and holding people to account, a lot of those guys that are a part of ICE right now and some of the things they're doing, and I know they have on masks, but there should be a way to find out who they are, because they need to be held to account. So if it flips, there's a large order of things that have to be done. And yes, we probably need to find a way to impeach some, but we need to figure out what we can do to restructure, to build back what we've lost and to go beyond, because we need to find a way to make sure that this never happens again. And I think Mike may have suggested it during one of our podcasts that we need our own project, but there should be continual projects, because they should be collectively building towards making sure this democracy never has to undergo this threat again.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yep. That's excellent, Keith. Yep, you hit it right on the head. Yes, sir. We have to make sure this never happens again. Just like the Jewish people said, never again. Never again. That's what we have to say about never again. Never again. Make it so that this never happens. Put ourselves in a position, so that this won't happen to us again.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah, this guy has pushed the envelope. He has tested the limits of the Constitution, and I mean, it was bound to happen, right?
That's true.
So now's the time to address it and build better, so that we don't have to deal with it again.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's what I hope that happens in the fall, then, once they get into office. The House and the Senate changes. I hope they don't waste any time on a bunch of hearings. I hope they take action on some things and get some things accomplished, because they're not there very long. They don't spend much time working.
If you're Mike Johnson, you put him on vacation for 280-something days.
Yeah. Hey, come on now.
And then the hypocrisy. So you get 20, 30 Democrats who don't show up for the State of the Union, and that's an affront.
Right.
But you send them home for almost 300 days.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
Yeah,
the hypocrisy is, in and of itself, man, is sickening.
So they worked a third of their time there.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's ridiculous. Yeah. All right, guys. That was a good one, especially from Mike Miller. A lot of passion there.
Mike is strong, man.
No,
Mike is strong.
No.
But we've had a 2-3 week build up too, so
Right.
that powder keg had to explode.
Yeah. All right, guys. Until next time.
All right,
Okay.
brother.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Okay.
Peace.
That's all the time we have this week. Be sure to hit the follow button to receive a notification when we upload a new episode. To learn more about today's topics, go to the show description. You can also text us. Join us every week by becoming a follower or on your favorite streaming service. If you enjoy our podcast, become a supporter. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with the What's Going On podcast.